Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. So can we get a roll call, Ms. Gina, please?
Yes, President Osborne. President Osborne,
Here.
Vice President Cordova,
Here.
Secretary Hamilton,
Here.
Member Martin,
Here.
Member Egbert.
Here. Thank you. We're all here and we have a quorum. So if you all please stand right now, Mr. Hamilton will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the sea symbol of perfect friendships among united cultures.
You may be seated. Thank you. Okay, the next item on our agenda is to consider approval of tonight's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second. We have a motion from Mr. Hamilton, a second by Ms. Egbert. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is consider approval of the minutes from the regular board meeting and the work session, and we can consider them together if there are no additions or corrections.
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
No, second.
the motion by Ms. Egbert, a second by Mr. Cordova. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda. Does anybody have any questions about any of the items on the consent agenda?
No, Madam President.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as printed.
Okay,
I'll second.
we have a motion from Mr. Cordova, a second by Mr. Hamilton. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm going to start tonight by inviting Mrs. Westbrook up to the podium so that we can recognize our art winner for our trailer that you all saw once again out front.
Have we used it yet?
I think we're just made legal.
Now.
Yes.
All right.
So, Jamie Martinez, I have not had the privilege of meeting Jamie. Hi, I'm so glad I get to meet you tonight. And so Mr. Pickett helped us put together this certificate of recognition in recognition of your creativity, innovation, and outstanding design skills. Your vision brought our food trailer to life and will serve the community for years to come. And so at this time, we just wanted to give, right, Jamie, this certificate of recognition and let all of you meet the person who created the wrap for our food trailer.
Oh, well, we love it, Jamie. Thank you so much.
If you would like to, please.
I hope you all enjoy it.
We don't think.
You did a great job.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that was awesome. Thank you.
And we stand for any questions. Does the board have any questions?
Ms. Russ said we haven't used it yet, but that we just are ready to go.
Our final inspection was today. Mr. Baker can.
We're about 99.9% ready to go.
It's always like, oh, we need a little extra.
Yeah,
What
but
was
we're ready to go.
to light it?
Just a couple of tweaks, but we're ready to go.
Yeah. So it will be in use for student use and to help feed students on the road.
So thank you for
Great.
that.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for your help.
Thank you.
Okay, next I want to invite Mrs. Hahn up to the podium. And while she's coming up, a couple of years ago, it was during this time that I was working really closely with the commander on base and talking about opportunities that we wanted to expand, particularly for our Cannon kids. Lots of interest in STEAM education, as is the case across the district, but particularly for our Cannon students. And so at the time, Mrs. Hahn was the principal at Cameo, and I just showed up at her office one day and I said, I have an idea. And she has this amazing science background. And I said, would you be willing and interested to try this out. And so I'm gonna let her tell the story a little bit more than that, but I just want to really highlight her willingness to step out in a new direction. And she's really been successful, she and her staff, and they've won an award. And so she's here to talk to you about that.
Good evening. So we started out with a new adventure. We decided through a brainchild of mine that we felt like that everything could be taught through science. I've always felt that way when I started at Marshall Junior High way back in the day when I started teaching there. And then at the Freshman Academy, I was always working with the other departments, figuring out a way to incorporate English or social studies. There's just so many different ways. And so I had always had this idea that we could teach everything through science. And so Ms. Russ was kind enough to allow me to do that at an elementary school. And so what we have done is we have all project-based learning. Students are able to do modules. They take about 4 to 6 weeks. And they usually have some sort of project or problem at the end, so that they are able to do something that's real world, which is great, use their hands. Main thing I wanted to do is get that thinking back, because I had noticed as they got up into high school that they were so used to the labs being done for them, instead of actually doing them themselves. And so we just wanted to just create a whole group of kids that were independent thinkers, that were problem solvers, could work on a team together, and that failure wasn't a bad word, that when we fail, we actually just try to do it again and we do it better. And so we've noticed that in everything that we've done, even with discipline, things at home. Parents have told us that they're trying to kind of problem solve through something instead of just, I can't do it, or giving up, or having some sort of, meltdown or whatever. And so it's been really exciting to see some of the things when you have like first grade teachers that come and ask you what's a refraction. And I'm like, oh, I would love to tell you about refraction. So I get to talk about science too all day, which is fabulous. But we did apply for a STEMI award, which is actually the New Mexico Science Excellence. It's STEM excellence in the whole state of New Mexico. And Air Force Research Labs are the ones that give that out. And so we are the excellent school for New Mexico for our first year, which we thought was great. And so I'd asked Ms. Russ if we could keep going and get some more ideas going. And so we're going to accept that award June 13th. We have a table of 8 that we get to go to the Q station and represent our school district there. We are the only school in the nation, and as far as I know, the world, that I can find. We did a lot of research on what a STEM school should look like at elementary. There is nothing like we're doing. And so we've taken Project Lead the Way and embedded everything into Project Lead the Way, and we're going to just keep going and growing. And so far, we're excited. We'll see how it goes, but that's pretty much the gist of it in a short amount of time.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So, and any questions you have, I'm more than willing to answer, or you're welcome to always come and visit. We were under construction. We still are, but we are slowly getting that wrapped up as well. So we will be a brand new school with a brand new idea. So
Can you tell them a little bit about the shift in your attendance and discipline data?
yes. So our attendance data, we were talking about how as a military school, because we have a really high population of military, we do have a lot of kids that are out because parents are going to deploy or they're just back, and so they go and visit family. And so we try to just look at our unexcused absences, but it has gone down. We're down to about 5% with unexcused. We have students that cry because they don't want to go home. They want to see if their bridge is going to withstand, something breaking, or they want to be able to see if their project is going to work out. So that's exciting as well. Our discipline data, I think, is down in the 90 percentile. I don't think suspended a single kid in the last semester at all. We haven't sent one kid to ISS the entire school year. And just what my assistant principal is here, Kelly Bradley. So one thing that she said that she was really impressed with is that students actually would try to problem solve when they came in and saying, okay, I know I did this, but here's what I think I should do, and this is how I think I can fix it, or what I should do better next time. So we just love the fact that it's kind of progressing into other areas of their lives. It's not just school. They don't really even understand that they're learning English and math per se, because it's not a separate subject. And I guess that was one thing that I always felt like, even in high school, kids didn't understand when they came to me and learned biology that I would talk about math. And they were like, this isn't math, this is science. And I'm like, no, 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 it all goes together. It all goes together. So we were showing kids that it all kind of goes together, that you have to know this math in order to understand this science. And you have to be able to read this particular thing in order to understand this concept. Their vocabulary is shot through the roof. When they can sit there and have conversations with me and use the correct vocabulary, because that's very important to us. We are impressed, and parents are saying, oh, like, I know all about infection detection, like they know how diseases are spread now, because that was our 5th grade module. So it's been really neat to see some of the concepts that I taught in middle school and high school that these kids can understand. And the bar's not, I think we've always set the bar a little too low. It's not any mistake of our own. I just don't think that we understood that kids could truly understand it, and that they truly can get their head around it, and they want to explore it, and they want to understand it. Our robotics, kids are coding. You have kindergartners that know how to code. I mean, and it's not that I didn't think they could do it, but to see them say, no, I can get this robot to go from here to here. Let me show you how to do it. And it's just great. And that's the direction things are going. So the Air Force Research Lab asked us, where do we think we're going to be in 5 years? Where do we think we're going to be in 10 years? And so we have a whole plan of ideas of things that we would love to be able to do, just to be able to get kids. I think this would be great for every kid. I wish every elementary school was doing this, but that's me dreaming big, because I am a river. And so that's what we tend to do. So anybody else?
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
That
thank you.
sounds Awesome.
It's
really
really
Yeah, thank you.
I'll just add a little bit. In their first year, their team joined with our UVA partners and did some planning work. And this Project Lead the Way, we're now wanting to span into 6th grade academy and to Gaddis Middle School as well, so that we have that pathway leading up to their high school CTE opportunities to branch into career technical education. So
like that.
Yeah, that's a
Expanding.
great
really
idea.
proud
That's
of the
good.
start. All right, we've got lots of kids here who would like to take some trips, so we'll move into that next. All right, Ms. Cordova, if you'd like to come up, or you girls come up, we have a big trip planned. I think this is one of their once every 3-year big trips. You'll notice it doesn't happen till February, but they've got a lot of fundraising to do between now and then, so go ahead.
Hi, we would like to travel to Orlando, Florida and compete in the dance team union nationals competition. We went 3 years ago and we feel like we can go back and do better. These girls are excited. They already hit the ground running today with our annual youth clinic. We had 97 participants come, and so we are super excited about that. And we're just hoping to build our program and generate some excitement about dance. And we're hoping to take these girls to Florida, get them not only a contest, but some educational opportunities along the way.
I looked at the agenda. It looks awesome. So I'm sure you will win something.
Ms. Cordova, how many seniors did you lose?
We lost 10? 9. We lost 9 seniors.
And I'm sure you got a waiting list to get on.
Yes, we brought on 9 freshmen.
Okay.
So we do. We have new girls this year. It's going to be a young team, but we're super excited about the prospects, the possibilities.
It's February when you're going?
Yes.
I know.
If you let us.
Do you guys want to take these separately, or do you want to hear the other 2 and then decide? Take them all, or
However you decide, whatever you want.
let's take them all together. Okay, all together. You have to wait a minute. Sorry.
Okay, and then our next trip is our ROTC to Abilene, I believe, Colonel Paul.
Good evening. My name is Les Ball, and I'm one of the 2 instructors at the high school, along with Senior Master Sergeant Kilcullen. This is our 3rd summer that we are taking cadets to Hardin-Simmons University for our summer leadership camp. This year we have 15 cadets who are planning to attend. There are actually two camps that are run simultaneously at Hardin-Simmons University. There's a basic camp for first-year cadets, and we have 7 that are planning to attend that camp. And then there's an advanced camp for juniors and seniors. We have 6 planning to attend that camp. I'll be working the basic camp as staff, and Senior Master Sergeant Kilcullen will be working the advanced camp. We also have 2 cadets who are going as staff this summer. Matthew Ochoa and Braden Tolado have graduated from the basic camp and the advanced camp, so they're going back this summer to be staff members. So we're excited about that. I'll be taking them on Saturday for their 2 days of training, Saturday and Sunday. And then the camp starts on Monday and runs through Saturday, June the 7th.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And our last trip, Graciela and Miss Sullivan, if you want to come on up. They're here representing our HOSA group, asking about travel to Nashville in June for the International Leadership Convention.
Good afternoon. My name is Kaylee Sullivan. I've been here a time or two, but this I think is my first time speaking. I have the opportunity this summer to work with a student group that is not necessarily my own. I'm actually standing in for Kelsey Fredericks since she is out with Mr. Fredericks. So throughout this course of this year, I've had the opportunity to stand in, get to know this amazing group of young adults, and we are taking, or should be hopefully taking, 6 students ranging from sophomores to graduated seniors. So HOSA International Leadership Conference is an opportunity for them to explore more careers and opportunities in healthcare. So they will be attending, not to compete this year because unfortunately we were not able to make it to state conference, but they will have the ability to go and sit through various professional learning opportunities, leadership opportunities, and different symposiums.
Nice to meet you. My name is Graciela Garcia, and I'm going to be the president for our HOSA program, which stands for Future Health Professionals. I'll be the president for 2025 through 2026 year. I'll be a senior this year, and I am very glad to be here with Miss Sullivan because she's done a lot for us. She has stand up there for us. Every time we had a doubt about what was going on, every time we went to her, she had an answer for us. So I'm very excited to go there because I know there's a lot of careers that we haven't discussed that I'm pretty sure we will find out about them there. Thank you.
I'd just like to thank the sponsors for providing us with such detailed information about the itinerary and the cost and the students going and how they'd be chaperoned. So thank you all for that. Hey, it's consideration, all 3 items at once: travel for the Wild Cadets, for the Air Force, ROTC, and HOSA.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
A motion from Mr. Hamilton, a second from Ms. Egbert. All in favor of approving the travel, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, you're all taking a trip.
I had invited Robert Lee to come provide a student update tonight, but I think that our email communication got lost. So Ms. Garciela, if you're willing to come up and speak on behalf of the high school, that would be great.
Good evening, Superintendent Ross, President Osborne, and members of the board. My name is Graciela Garcia, and I'm here in representation of CHS and HOSA, as Robert Lee, since he already graduated. I am very thankful for all of you guys, because even though we had a lot of circumstances going on with Mr. Fredericks and Miss Fredericks being gone, you guys still managed to have us a principal there, giving us support and all that. I know Miss Fredericks was in charge of a lot of stuff. I personally love Miss Fredericks. I've known her since my sophomore year, and having her leave, it was pretty hard, but having Miss Sullivan take over our HOSA program has been very great for us, and I appreciate that. A lot of people didn't know what HOSA was or what it stands for, but it stands for Future Health Professionals. It used to stand for Future Health Professionals of America, but now it's a national organization to which we meet every year in Nashville or Florida, and it varies, and it's a very fun thing to go to. This is my first year going to nationals, and I am very excited for that. I really want to thank you guys for taking care of our school. While Mr. Frederick was gone, he was very, very fun to be with around. He is always with a smile. If we're down, he always smiles. So having Miss Misty be there at the high school for us was very, very great. Because she's always with a smile. Anytime we needed help for our HOSA programs, I would go talk to her and she would help me all the time. And I know most of our high school students felt the same way, and I feel very appreciated that way. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you guys have any questions about the high school or anything? No?
Right now, since it's summer, but
Okay.
thank you for stepping up. Thank you for stepping up.
Yes.
We do not have Miss Williams here tonight, so that will end my portion.
Ms. Sniperville. We'll do some academic services.
Good evening, Madam President, Superintendent Russ. I bring to you tonight our IDA budget application. I believe I have a PowerPoint that may not be in your packet. I just wanted to quickly, briefly go over what is in this budget. Hey, Brandon. Okay, Brandon's trying. We're getting it going. All right. I'm gonna have to back it up. Back it up one there. You go. Our 24106, which is our K 22 budget for students on an IEP, students with disabilities. As you can see, last year was 3,552,10.48. This year is 3,227,156 with a decrease of $324,854. Our 24109, which is our preschool budget for students with disabilities, was once again is $8,790 less than last year. We did some really good planning for the last 3 years. We've been really working on making sure that we're trying to be fiscally responsible and always have that little bit put aside in case you get a high needs or get something high. So we've been able to absorb most of this. If you go to the next, Brad, we take a look at where we spend hours, and 68% of this budget goes to salaries. And those salaries help people either provide the services or take away things for that would be a classroom teacher so they can be right next to those kids. We have supplies, equipment, our technical assistance, some travel, student employment, insurance. It says zero, but there's a little bit in there, and our indirect cost. Okay. There is 96% of the 24109 budget goes to salaries. The other 4% is all in indirect cost. Here's the salaries that we utilize out of 24106. We have an administrative assistant, as you can read through there, translator, data specialist, compliance specialist, and assistive technology. Yeah. We also have 2 executive coordinators for 12 behavior assistants, 2 registered behavior technicians, 9 pre-K EAs, and 19 EAs out of this budget. Our stipends, we have a BA oversight. They oversee the behavior assistants. They help and assign them. We have 5 leadership, which is our student support services leadership team, 1 ESY coordinator, 1 orientation and mobility specialist, 4 licensure supervision, and 3 cell phone stipends come out of this. We also give classroom warehouse allotment, $150 to any vendor and $75 to the warehouse for 9 support staff, 8 administrative staff, and 4 to 3 ancillary. We give a $200 vendor and $100 warehouse to 60 teachers. That means if they find something on Amazon they like and it's good for their classroom, let's go get it. And that's why we provide that for them. We want to put that money right next to the kids. This is our 24109. Our salaries go for 7 EAs. We also do provide $200 vendor and $100 warehouse for teachers. We consider that pay. That's a benefit that we give them. Despite the reduction in IDB funds, we're still able to sustain the current categorical spending percentage as we've done in the past. One of the big things we really want to make sure we do is we never take away from the kids as close as we can. So we start looking farther away. Every year we budget 10% over, the same as last year, and 10% less. Well, this year it was a little more than 10%. So that one came into play. We want to make sure that we are, with our being fiscally responsible for our students with disabilities. And remember, this is all supplemental. it can't supplant. So anything that any student deserves that paid out of general fund is still paid, we provide anything supplemental for that. Any questions on that?
Why was the funding less?
You know, all I could tie it to, Mr. Hamilton, was that the student count was less, but it really wasn't that much when we turned in our end of the year. Of course, they go on 40-day and 80-day, but I believe it's student. But also, we've been really working hard. We have a lot of A-level, what they call A-level monitor students, where students that have not received any special ed services in a couple of years, but we're keeping them just in case. We've really been working hard. Those kids need to be out and don't need to have, with us there. And so it could be some of those, removing some of the A-level, the upper level, which is a little bit less.
Okay.
Yeah, they just give us the budget. They don't tell us why. They say, here, this is what you get.
I understand.
And in your packet, you do have the application. And if I stand for any questions, it is categorical through there. That's the application as it sits on the right up here. It has the amounts and what we spend it on. Are there any questions on that?
It seems shorter than last year.
Yes,
Was a process last year, so.
yes, yeah,
I'm-
yeah.
I'm-
We come to you 2 months earlier than
Right,
last year. That's
yeah.
right. They're trying to get it back in line to where we can get it done correctly.
Yeah. I don't have any, it looks good to me. Thank you for the extra explanation, Mr. Spar.
You bet. The next thing you have is a discussion. We have a handbook. I was teasing Brandon, telling him I want to put up all 417 pages and go through each one individually. No, we're not gonna do that. Okay, that was purchased for the district. And it is, as you can take a look, as it's in your packet, it does categoricalize it. It has it federal, state, and then what we're gonna do in that. And I stand for any questions on that handbook.
It's a good resource for principals as well.
Absolutely. It's a searchable PDF, so they want to search anything with parent, anything with discipline, anything with attendance. It's all searchable and it takes them right to the spot. We don't have to fumble through all 417 pages.
Okay, so the IDEA budget is a consideration item, so,
I'll make a motion to approve the budget.
We'll second.
okay, we have a motion from Mr. Hamilton, a second from Mr. Cordova to approve the IDEA budget. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Flores.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Hello, Madam President, members of the board. How are you guys this evening?
Good.
Good. I'm standing in for Mr. Strickland this evening. He was not able to be with us. In front of you, you have your employee services report for the month of May. We've had a lot of activity. May is one of our busiest times of year as people come and go. And so you can see all the activity we've been having. And then we also have our open positions report. And before I go into that, I just want to let you know that over the last 3 to 4 weeks that we have conducted employee services audits with every single department and school here in the district, meaning that we sit down with all parties, the admin team, the contract team, the employee services team, finance, all the people, and we all sit together and go over current staff, who's leaving, who's coming, how many positions do they need to fill. We look at our roll-up numbers for next year, and we get a game plan for August. So that as principals are leaving to go into the summer months, they know before even leaving in June, what they need to fill, how many they need based on their student numbers coming to them. With those numbers this year, we have determined that we need 6 less elementary teachers this year. And so far we have about 4 less secondary teachers. And this is all done through attrition. No one is leaving because we're like, you have to leave. We don't have enough kids. No, it's all through attrition. We did find that at Parkview, last year we anticipated having a certain amount of kids coming from Lockwood. That didn't end up being as large of a population as we had anticipated. And so most of the downsizing of grade levels has happened at Parkview. Instead of 4 fourth grade teachers, we now have 3 fourth grade teachers. And none of them are overloaded or anything. It's just, how you have when you're losing weight, you have a goal of 50 pounds, right? And so the first 40 are always the easiest. Well, we are in the last 10 pounds. And so of right sizing our district. And so those last few squeezes are more difficult and take longer because we're trying to figure out exactly where kids are. But we are being fiscally responsive with that. So I'd like to turn it over to Brandon to talk about the instructional calendar.
President Osborne, Superintendent Russ, members of the board, thank you for allowing us to speak to you tonight. We're coming back to you at the instructional calendar. We had to make 2 small changes. Alexis, if you don't mind scrolling down just a little bit. Mrs. Russ, once we got past last board meeting, started doing a little bit more research about the election rules and come to find out that even on the general election years, we have to stop school that day or not have school that day in order to meet the election requirements. And so because of that, what we're going to do is we would propose to take the Monday, April 6th, that was part of our spring holiday, and shift that day to be a holiday on November 4th to accommodate those elections. So we're just flip-flopping one day for the other. And then the other change that we have is actually a little bit of an exciting change for us. The state every year has kind of changed the program in which we plug all the numbers in and get the actual number of our instructional hours and how they're going to count it. So this year, Mrs. Russ, Mrs. Nieto, and myself sat down and we started plugging everything into the calendar this year into the program that they're using. And when we did, that program actually generated a few extra instructional hours for us that we weren't anticipating. And so what that's going to allow us to do is if you look at May, on the original version, May 22nd was a half day with students and then only a half day to get faculty and staff out of the buildings. But because of the little extra time they gave us, we can actually go a full day on the 21st and just dismiss kids at the end of that school day. That gives us the entire day on May 22nd to give back to our staff to clean up, finish out the year, get checked out, and allow our high school staff who have to run graduation to have a full day to do nothing but prepare and take a breather and be ready for graduation, because that makes for a long day. It also gives us just a couple extra hours on the back end in case we do have any other weather delays or inclement weather days. It gives us just a little bit of a cushion, just a handful of hours. So we just wanted to bring this to you and show you these 2 revisions. This is a consideration item, so it does need to be approved by the board.
Are there any questions or comments? No, ma'am. Thank you for taking care of that, Mr. Borio. So this is a consideration item.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Egbert, Miss Egbert, sorry, Mr. I got too many Mr. Miss Egbert, a second by Mr. Martin. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Mr.
Welcome. This next one is new for our department and something that I'm excited to do. If you've been around the schools very long, you know that substitute teachers are our secret weapon. The reality is we could not function day to day if we did not have a great sub pool and if we didn't have people in our community willing to come in and stand in the place of a teacher or stand in the place of an EA and help our school system function. And we've got some really, really great substitutes. And so I just want to take a moment tonight and draw some attention to some very special people. We've got a really great pool of subs. In fact, this year we had about 250 active subs. But within that, tonight, if you notice on the screen, we're going to honor 2 different groups. The first group is the group of people that work anywhere between 100 to 150 days. And then the second group is all of our substitutes who worked 150 days or more. Bear in mind that the school year is only 183 days. So if they worked more than 150 days, that's a lot of days. Okay. If you don't mind going back down, that's perfect right there. And so tonight what we want to do is I actually have some certificates and I'm going to start calling names of the people that are in attendance, and I'm going to allow Mrs. Carpenter to give them a certificate. But we just want to draw some special attention because these people really pour into our kids. They pour into our school community. They have been part of our family. And so even though they may be in and out of different buildings, they are playing a critical role every day. We really appreciate what they do for our kids. And so I'm just going to start reading names. So if I call your name, if you don't mind coming up, if you get your certificate from Mrs. Carpenter and then scoot all the way over toward Mr. Brady, we're just going to line all of you up right here in the front. So all of these substitutes worked anywhere between 100 and 149 days this year. First is Yesenia Chavarria, Lucia Garcia, Nicole Kimball, and we can wait till the end. We can clap for everybody. You guys are good. I should have said that, sorry. Catherine Larkin, Tomasa Montez, Brittany Nelson, Dulce Ramos Hijos. I tried so hard. I practiced that one with Zaida today and I still got it wrong. Dadgummit. Alicia Rodriguez. Anthony Romero. Maria Valadez Vasquez. And Rachel Whitby. Is there anybody whose name is on the 100-day and you didn't get checked in and I missed you? If you'll come see me right now. Hurry, now's your time. Awesome. Let's give these people a hand, please. Yes. Somebody snapping a pic. Crystal's got it. All right, everybody hold your certificates. It's like kindergarten again. Smile. Then our next group are all of our substitutes who served 150 days or more. So we're talking a large portion of the school year. First, we have Heather Adams, Ashley Vargas, Melanie Beavers, Yesenia Beltran, Laurel Bettison, Patricia Bochar, Laura Bryant Rodriguez, Kenneth Cretion, Andrea Fells, Bianca Gonzalez, Tracy Hall, Rebecca Hines, Lizeth Sines, and Marjorie Cisneros. Is there anybody on the 150 page that didn't check in? I don't want to miss you. Awesome. Let's give this group a round of applause, please. Everybody hold up your certificates. There we go. I love it. Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Oh, sure. Can we just pause a minute? And if there are students and sponsors who would like to leave, we'll allow you to do that. Now, if you want to stay, though, you're always welcome. Thank you.
Ready for your signal.
All veterans. Wow.
She's gonna do
I should go let them go. Thank God.
Oh, just thank God. That's what I was gonna say. Just thank God.
We just had the same.
I was like, "Who's your brother?"
Yes, we did.
Thank you all. Are you?
Clear the room.
There you go.
That's really cool.
Isn't it?
That's impressive.
It is impressive.
I love these people.
They're good.
They're those
You want to hug them all?
Eddies that just,
They
you
are.
know, they always
They're
are there.
impressive.
Yeah.
But there's so many.
And I can't tell you how many of them I've tried to I need you to be a teacher.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I want to pay you more. Quit being a sub. I want you to be a teacher. And some of them have their degrees and everything. And anyway, another story for another
Still,
day.
we need them wherever, right?
Yes, yes, they're wonderful people. Okay,
So now I was going to visit with you about the RLIS grant application as well as the Title II grant application. These are not up for board consideration or anything like that. I just wanted you to know what was going on and what has been submitted to the PED and how much money they have given us in order to participate in some staff development. So for RLIS in particular, it is really both grants can be used in pretty much the same way. They're all used for staff development and retention purposes. And so for RLIS this next year, we're using the money for special ed hard to fill positions. So you'll notice that on our vacancies, we set a $6,000 signing bonus. Mr. Sparks fronts 3,000 of that, and then this grant does the other 3,000, bringing it to 6,000. So we're able to parlay those together and provide a $6,000 bonus. Also from this grant, I'm going to be taking 15 of our new teachers to RCA in Atlanta in September for the new teacher orientation that Ron Clark does. Last year, we spent a lot of time and effort and money sending most of our staff. And so this year we really scaled that back on these grant applications because that's where all that came from, was these federal grants. But this year we're scaling it back and we're going to put some money into taking our new teachers that haven't been exposed to Ron Clark yet. We'll take them. Also going to be doing quite a bit of math professional development. We found that in our strategic plan that is something that our staff has really expressed to Ms. Russ that they would like and parents would like. And so we're setting aside $75,000 for professional development here in district for math. And then also some professional development for social emotional learning, SEL, in focus to go through K-8. For Title II, that brings the RLIS grand total. I don't know if that was on there, Brandon, or not, but yeah. Okay, so it was 231,000. Okay, so for Title II this year, it's 351,000, but we still have money carrying over from the previous year. But some of the things that we'll be spending our Title II monies on, we do pay our mentors. We pay them $500 a semester to mentor new teachers to the profession. We also pay for teachers that are about to take a test that is a professional test that they have to pass for licensure. We actually pay for study guides and test materials. And so we do that. We pay for the instructional leaders in the EL instructional leaders at Mesa, Berry, and Zia because they are not Title I schools. Title II then picks up those services to assist with those students that have other languages spoken at home. We also pay for the teacher leader stipends, which is 2 teachers per elementary school. And then for Marshall and then Gaddis, there's 2 per school at each one of those. We're going to pay for Orton Gillingham morphology, which is 6th grade, learning to read, reading to learn. And then also some Orton Gillingham for our younger teachers. And then we also pay for our teachers to get endorsed in TESOL, to get an endorsement from Eastern New Mexico with a TESOL endorsement. And we actually pay for that, assuming they go through the whole thing. And then we're going to send some of our mid-school math teachers to the national conference that is being held in Santa Fe, which is very close. So we like to take advantage of those opportunities when they are close. And I think that's about it for this year, but we're using every single penny that we can to try to really develop our teachers and they can bring back their information and grow our students. So I stand for any questions.
Like you budgeted every penny wisely. What did you want to say, Amy?
What's the difference?
Thank you.
Sieta.
Good evening, President Osborne, members of the board, and Superintendent Russ. At this time, I would like to bring forward Mr. Scott Mauer. I know I was going to mess that up, so sorry. With Clovis Municipal Schools Foundation. The foundation was officially designated as a component unit of the district, and we included that in our fiscal year 23-24 audit. Clovis Schools will be issuing a request for proposal for new auditing services in late February of next year. The foundations being a component unit will be included in this process, reflecting our continued commitment to financial transparency and compliance. In the interim, and as a gesture of good faith and recognition of our valued partnership, we propose to share the cost of the foundation's current audit by covering 50% of the fee, not to exceed $10,000 pending the approval of the fiscal year 2026 budget. And at this time, I'm going to hand it over to Scott.
Thank you, Heather. Good evening. I'm joined tonight by members of our executive committee, our president, Mrs. Gayla Brumfield, treasurer, Mr. Tom Martin, and Mr. Lonnie Leslie. So thank you all for joining. As Heather mentioned, when I took on this role brand new back in October, I wanted to learn a bit about board governance and was thrown right into the fire to learn all about fiscal responsibility and everything, what a component unit is. So been looking for the right analogy for what a component unit is. And to me, it's just like we're married in this fiscal responsibility with the district. Our goal in the foundation is to keep our expenses low so we can focus on strong fundraising in order to collaboratively brainstorm with the district and maximize the return of teacher grants, scholarships, and other ad hoc opportunities. I'll be brief, but in the 2-page letter that Gayla and I co-wrote, there's some details on how we've stepped up and given that commensurate value back to the school district in years past. Notably, including during the COVID-19 pandemic, we did a one-time emergency grant of $50,000. So we're trying to stay agile to respond to needs such as that in the future. And in order to formalize that relationship, we think it's very important that moving forward, we co-author an MOU or a memorandum of understanding, just to kind of outline the terms of our relationship in a formal fashion so we can get all of that out of the way and focus on the fun stuff of how we can help the district, your staff, and your students. So at this time, I'd love to open it up to any questions.
So are you asking us to pay more of it because it's more intense now, your audit, than previously? Is that the issue? What's the issue?
Previously, I personally wasn't anticipating the $20,000 a year audit findings. So I was coming in mid-cycle of the previous audit with a informal agreement that the district and the foundation would do a 50-50 split. So since we don't have an MOU kind of on file now for outlining that in the future, we're basically just asking to do that one more year in preparation of us. You know, this kind of represents the foundation having skin in the game. And so knowing that we need to grow into that place. The thing we're trying to brace for are some factors such as some of our funding sources going away in the next 10 years, notably the payment in lieu of taxes from Southwest Cheese. When that disappears, we're already going to be in a deficit for fundraising. So we're trying to get some strength behind us now to kind of set our fundraising goals and know what those sales figures are, for lack of a better term, and kind of starting $10,000 or $20,000 in the hole, so to speak, kind of puts a damper on things. So we're just kind of looking for a little bit of runway time there to kind of figure things out.
Thank you.
It might be helpful to interject as well that our current RFP, because they were not considered a component unit whenever that decision was made. And so this was something that came along kind of towards the end of that RFP agreement. And so the language of the new RFP in February would include, you know, them making accommodations for including the foundation as a component unit. And so we're trying to find a way to get through that gap of time. So, and that would be next year.
And if I could add one more thing, our group has researched other foundations, notably the Albuquerque Public Schools Foundation, as well as Clovis Community College. And they're similar and they each have a separate 501c3 foundation attached to their college or their school district like we have. The difference is their employees at Albuquerque's foundation are employees of the school district, whereas we are not. The same goes with Clovis Community College's foundation as well. So we thought it was going to be kind of an apples to apples comparison. It's more of an apples to oranges because we don't have that same structure with the district today.
thank you for that explanation.
And basically what.
And so then we're just, it's a discussion, right?
Yes.
So basically what we're saying is to fill in the gap until we get caught up. We're asking to have more funds from the school.
Yes, just notably in the form of 50% of the financial audit costs.
Okay.
Madam President, the consideration aspect of that would come into play in item E, when you would consider whether or not you would include that in the operating budget or not. So I just wanted to be clear about that.
Thank you.
It's not to exceed 10,000.
The,
Or
50%.
50%. So currently, the component unit sits right now at 18,134.81. So
And they're using our same, y'all are using our same auditors.
That's
This year.
They're very good.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
they're good.
Yes, great. That's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next item I present is the third quarter cash report. The third quarter cash report provides a snapshot of the organization's cash flows, cash inflows, outflows, and ending cash balance for the period ending March 31st. This report helps elevate the liquidity position and cash management efficiency during the quarter. And I stand for any questions.
Anybody have any questions?
No, I don't have any.
Or none?
The third item I present is our 910B5, which is our SEG, our state equalization guarantee. This is designed to ensure equitable funding for public schools in New Mexico, irrespective of local property wealth. The SEG serves as the primary source of our operational funding. It covers various expenses, including salaries, benefits, instructional materials, primarily determined by student enrollment. The report details key formula components and noteworthy adjustments for special and bilingual education, reflecting legislative priorities and reviews of factors such as the district size and at-risk indicators. So this year, even though we've had a decrease in enrollment, the total SEG funding for Clovis schools is approximately $93.9 million. I stand for any questions.
So, you know, how I'm always on this thing about TCI versus what we used to have. So I was thinking in particular about SLPs. And so, you know, a speech language pathologist is the only related service provider that can also have a caseload. So their related service portion gets funded through the related service FTE. But that portion of the time that they're essentially the teacher gets funded no place.
No place.
Which is a big deal for a district our size.
Yes.
Like, is there any talk about?
There hasn't been any talk.
No, of course I don't. I'm just saying.
Maybe we should start the talk.
We should have a talk because it's gone on long enough. We've given them an opportunity to reconcile these issues. And it's, I would think, significant. How many SLPs do we have, Mr. Sparks? 17
openings.
Okay, so that's not a insignificant amount, I think, but anyway, it was more a comment than a question. Well, it was a question because I thought, well, maybe I'm missing it and they're, you know, putting it on here somewhere, but.
No, this is only for the teachers.
Okay.
And based on their licensure level.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to add to, and Heather, you may have more to add. The factors this year reflect an increase on the secondary factor went up. And so we're trying to look at making sure that we're directing that towards support of secondary programs. Also the at-risk dollars that was separate through Family Income Index that channeled directly to schools. That's now been worked into the SEG. And so we're trying to be really cognizant of where we're directing some of those dollars and making sure that it is, to the degree that we can initially with that change, proportionate to what the poverty level is out of school. And that's a very challenging thing to do in a district our size when you're dealing with a $100 million budget that
Right.
has been static for quite some time.
Well, and that's smart because you never know when they're going to circle back and say, oh, prove to me how you.
I believe that's on its way.
I
Yeah.
certainly do. Yes, I would agree. That's wise. Thank you for doing that. Any other comments or discussion?
No, ma'am.
Okay, next item.
The fourth item I have is a consideration item. The following salary schedules were found to have some incorrect amounts. My fingers got a little, I don't know, type happy and missed some numbers, so I apologize for that. We have corrected those, but the first part I want to let you know is the employee calendar. We completed this, or Brandon helped complete this after the approval of the instructional calendar at last board meeting. And then on schedule 1, we added a position. It's the executive coordinator of prevention and intervention. Schedule 4, the high school counselor, we needed to adjust the steps 29 through 34. Schedule 5, the instructional and nursing calendar, under the BA step level 2, step 39 was incorrect, which we've corrected. Schedule 8, which was our related service providers, under both the LMA plus 15 and LMA plus 45 step zeros were incorrect. And then we also adjusted steps 25 through 31 under the LMA plus 45. And then the final schedule is the increment schedule that is for your final review and approval. And I stand for any questions.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
No, ma'am.
We've had a lot of information about the increments schedule, so we appreciate you bringing the final one to us. Okay, this was a consideration item. Updated salary schedules.
Make a motion to approve the updated salary schedule.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Mr. Cordova, a second from Mr. Hamilton to approve the updated increment and 25-26 salary schedules. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
The fifth item I will be presenting is the fiscal year 25-26 budget. This presentation will highlight our projected revenues and expenditures, key funding priorities, and overall financial outlook. Our total revenue projection for Fund 11,000, which is our operational budget, is approximately 1.6 million. Our expense projections, we had the 4% mandated salary increase. Our health insurance went up 9.95% for all options. We continued the same tiers for our insurance, where it was 80, 70, 60% as our portion. And then the ERB rate is remaining currently at 18.15% for our portion. Our instructional function, which is our 1,000, we had projections for our salaries, benefits, professional services, property services, which is our maintenance and repair, other services, which include student travel, employees, contracted services, our supplies, which also includes our instructional materials, software, all of that, and then our property of fixed assets. So our total, we want the instructional services to remain our top priority. So we were allocating over 62 million to that. The next slide is our student support services. This includes salaries and benefits. And we've allocated over 11 million to that. This includes funding for diagnosticians, counselors, therapists, specialists who provide essential academic and emotional support. Our goal is to meet every student's diverse needs. The instructional support received 1.93 million. This covers curriculum, coordination, professional development, library services, related materials that are critical to maintaining instructional quality and educator growth. Our general administrative function, our budget totals 1.39 million and covers board services, auditing with the inclusion of the cost of the CMS Foundation audit at the 50%, legal fees, administrative travel. And then we want to ensure that our leadership has resources needed for sound decision-making and compliance. Our school administration, we are investing 6.5 million at the school level leadership and operations, including principals and office staff. This ensures each campus is equipped to run efficiently and support instructional goals. Central services accounts for 5.8 million, covering the finance, HR, IT, and other administrative functions that support the entire district. Our plant operations is our operations and maintenance. They will receive over 13.2 million, supporting everything from utilities to building repairs, security, insurance. A large portion goes to facilities upkeep, including 2.3 million for property services and 3.3 million in insurance and contracted services. Sorry. Student transportation and our capital outlay, we budgeted 22,975. That's for bus inspections and property and liability insurance. Capital outlay includes 369,255, and this is for facility improvements and equipment upgrades. And this is because of the nearing of our 2021 bond projects. And I believe it was last month or the month prior to that, you approved a letter requesting the use of operational monies. In addition to, sorry, I'm skipping a slide. This is back to our SEG budget. We have the cost of salaries coming in at 64.9 million, cost of benefits at 21.6 million. So a total of salaries and benefits at 86.5. Our total SEG was 93.9 million. So our SEG budget after all of our salaries and benefits is 7.3 million. We're hoping it's probably going to fluctuate. We're still reviewing some salaries to make sure through attrition and everything that they may lower down. In addition to Fund 11,000, we have 38 other funds totaling over 51.6 million, including our federal grants, our special revenues. The district's total budget exceeds 154 million. And despite waiting on final award letters, we are financially stable with a projected year-end cash balance of 15.3 million. This includes encumbrances that will be paid by June 30th, but it also includes some of those encumbrances that will not be paid and will fall off. So our cash balance may rise a little bit. So in closing, our budget reflects strategic investments in instruction support services and facilities while maintaining this, remaining fiscally responsible. We are committed to providing the highest quality education within our means. I've included in here our program unit history for our program units and our TCI index. Cindy, I know that you had a lot of questions for that. And so it's dropped and then risen with the change of how it's being calculated. And then our risk insurance premium increases. Each year it seems to grow larger. And I stand for any questions.
Anybody have any questions?
The-
A lot.
In this, approval of this operation budget, that do include the foundation
Yes.
and what we're gonna do?
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Okay. And, I guess the member of understanding, is that something gonna come different that we can change the language so we make sure
Yes.
that's
yes,
coming later? Okay.
We'll bring that back at a later time.
Other questions?
No, ma'am.
Thank you for aligning the budget with our strategic requirements and where we're headed, so I appreciate that. All of you, I know the cabinet had a lot to do with it, so. This is a consideration item.
I move that we could approve the 2025-2026 operation budget.
Okay,
I'll second.
I have a motion from Mr. Martin, a second from Mr. Cordova to approve the 25-26 operational budget. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. The final item that I have for your consideration is the removal of unit 335, which is a 2017 Ford Transit. This was declared a total loss due to an auto accident. And I stand for any questions.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
No, ma'am. I don't have any questions.
Okay, this is also a consideration item.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
A motion from Mr. Hamilton and a second from Mr. Martin to approve removal of unit 335. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Mr. Brady.
Exciting. Good evening, President Osborne, members of the board, Superintendent Russ. Just one item, it's a consideration item. 30 buses, $2,184,725 for the contract to be able to transport all of our kids to and from school, requiring your approval. And we're very happy with Corey Adair and what he does to make this fleet work within the means of our budget. So I stand for any questions.
Any questions? I bet he's glad field trip season is over.
It's not just field trips, but yes.
Right, well,
Is he still struggling to get bus drivers?
Yes.
No.
And we just keep increasing opportunities for kids to go and participate and be involved. Those hooks matter, and he makes it work. So I want to make sure I commend him while I'm at the podium.
are there any other questions or comments? This is an action item. No?
I move to approve the fleet contract with Ada.
Okay. We have a motion from Mr. Cordova, a second from Ms. Eckert to approve the fleet service contract. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
We have open forum now, Ms. G. No cards. No cards. All right, then. We'll go to announcements, Ms. Russell.
June 5th through 7th, we have the NMSBA Law Conference. I believe the board will be in attendance along with several administrators. And then we'll reconvene here for our next regular Board of Education meeting, 5:30 p.m. on June 24th. That's all that I have.
Okay. Would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
A motion from Mr. Cordova, a second from Mr. Hamilton to adjourn. All in favor? Motion carried.